Hello all, in this playlist we are going to discuss on entire Spring Boot which includes Hibernate with Data JPA. So post completion of this, we'll develop an entire project which includes Spring Boot along with Hibernate and Data JPA along with MySQL database. Okay, now the question is what is Spring Boot? Okay, see Spring Boot is a Java framework which is developed on top of the Spring. Okay, with this Spring Boot framework we can develop different types of applications, like for example we can develop web applications, enterprise applications, distributed applications, any type of applications we can develop. Now you might know the importance of Spring Boot, right? See, this is booming technology in the market right now. If you have strong knowledge on Spring Boot, the weightage of your resume will be too high. Okay, so now let's get into the topic. Previously I told you, right? Spring Boot is a Java framework. Now let's try to understand what is framework with a real-time example. Okay. See, before we do not have shopping malls before 2010. So for example, there is a family of 4 people, wife, husband and 2 kids. They want to enjoy the weekend by doing multiple things. They want to watch a movie, they want to buy some clothes at the clothes store, and they want to have some food at the restaurant, and they want to play some games at the PlayStation. So if they want to do this all things in a single day, they will stuck in the traffic rather than their enjoyment, right? So that's why shopping malls comes into picture. So whenever you entered into a shopping mall, you can watch a movie, you can buy some clothes, or you can have some food at the restaurant, and you can play the games at the play area. That is why shopping malls are booming right now in the market, right? In the same way, if you want to develop an application, before we have servlets, JSP, JDBC to develop a single Java application. That's why frameworks are introduced. With using framework, no need to use those many technologies. Only with the Spring framework, we can develop web part, we can develop business part, and we can develop the database part also. That's the importance of framework in the current market. Just now we understand about framework, right? So before getting into the architecture of Spring Boot, let's try to understand with a real-time example. Okay, see, for example, you are the person, okay, you went for a restaurant to order some food, to have some food with the restaurant. So firstly, what you are going to do, you will contact a waiter to order the food, right? Let's suppose this is the waiter. Okay, so what waiter will do? Waiter will communicate with the chef, right? For what purpose? To prepare the food, right? What chef will do? He will get the ingredients from the storeroom. Let's suppose storeroom. Okay, by taking a help of a separate person, which we call it as an helper. Okay, see, you went for a restaurant, you want to order some food, you will call the waiter to order the food, and waiter will go to the chef. Okay, master chef will prepare the food, and chef will take help of helper to get the items from the storeroom. Right? This is what happens, and chef will send back the food to the waiter will give you the food. This is what happens, right? So with this example, let's try to understand what Spring Boot is, how Spring Boot architecture is related to this. Let's try with an example. Okay, see, now firstly the client will send the request will be received by the controller. Are you getting? Controller will take the request from the client. Okay, from the controller it will connect to the service layer. I told you already, right? Spring Boot is a layered architecture. We have multiple layers: controller layer, service layer, we have repository layer. Okay, so what service layer contains? Service layer contains business logic, the actual logic. Okay, now service layer will connect with the next layer, which we call it as an repository layer. Repository layer will connect with the database to get the data from the database. Okay, come on, let's try to understand again. Client will send the request, right? Request will be received by the controller, just like your waiter. Okay, what controller will do? Controller will have request handling methods and it will connect with the service layer to do the business operations, just like chef. From the service layer, service will contact with the repository layer to get the ingredients right here in the store. To get the data from the database, service layer will connect with the repository layer. Okay, so repository will connect with the database, it will send back the response to the service layer. Service layer will use that data and it will send back the response to the controller. And now controller will send back the response to the client. This is what happening, just like waiter is nothing but a controller here. Your chef is nothing but a service which have an actual logic will be there in the service layer. And next repository layer, which is very much important to communicate with the database, to get the data, to do all the CRUD operations on the database, we need repository layer. So this is what entire architecture of Spring Boot. Now the thing is, we cannot able to understand the entire 3-tier architecture in a single video. It's not possible. Okay. Now what I am going to do you, firstly we'll understand repository layer. Okay, with the Hibernate and Data JPA. Then we'll connect with the controller. Then we'll add service. We'll understand the entire architecture step by step with the real-time examples along with the practical examples. I'll show you each and every layer with a practical example and with the real-time example, just like this. Okay, good.